Big Red and the Little Bitty Wolf, a story about bullying by Jeanie, Franz, Ransom. There was only one path that led from where Little Bitty Wolf lived to where he went to school at Pinecone Elementary, and there was a problem. Over the summer, Big Red Riding Hood had moved in with her grandmother. Big Red wasn't just big, she was mean. And now she took the same path through the woods to get to school. Before Big Red moved in, Little Bitty loved to go to school. He loved the soft pat, pat, pat sound his paws made on the path. He loved the feel of the wind tickling his whiskers as it rustled through the leaves. And he really, really loved his yellow lunch basket, always packed with his favorite foods. Big Red loved nothing more than teasing, taunting, and terrorizing Little Bitty. Sometimes she jumped out from behind a tree, sometimes she stuck out her big foot and tripped him. Sometimes Big Red snuck up behind Little Bitty and pulled his tail. Little Bitty tried not to whine, he tried not to whimper, he tried not to talk to Big Red at all. Nothing seemed to help. Little Bitty asked his parents what to do. Just tell her to stop, Mom told him. Tell her you don't like it when she teases you. Stop it, Little Bitty said when Big Red kept throwing acorns at him. I don't like that. Big Red laughed. But I do, Big Red said. She picked up a big acorn and hit him on the nose. Puff yourself up to look bigger, Dad told him. The next time Big Red pulled his tail, Little Bitty puffed up as big as he could. Big Red just laughed. I'm not scared of an itty-bitty wolf, she smirked. Little Bitty didn't know what to do. Then one morning, a shadow fell across his path. Little Bitty looked up. It was Big Red. Where do you think you're going? Big Red asked. Little Bitty tried to run by Big Red, but she blocked his way. Not so fast. Big Red grabbed the basket right out of his paws and skipped away. A tisket-a-tasket, I've got a brand new basket. Little Bitty was so sad. What would he eat for lunch? What would his parents say when he didn't bring his basket home? Would they make him take his food in a brown bark bag? When Little Bitty got to school, his teacher, Miss Doe, asked what was wrong. Little Bitty didn't want to tell her. Big Red was looking right at him. Miss Doe sent him to talk to the counselor, Mr. Know-it-Owl. Little Bitty told him about Big Red. It sounds like you have quite a problem, Mr. Know-it-Owl said. What have you tried to fix it? I asked Big Red to stop bothering me, just like my mom said, Little Bitty told the counselor. And I puffed myself up to look bigger, just like my dad told me, said Little Bitty. But Big Red just laughed at me, and now she has my lunch basket, and I don't know what to do. He wiped his eyes with his tail. Seems to me like you need to do something Big Red doesn't expect you to do, Mr. Know-it-Owl said. Like this. Mr. Know-it-Owl's head spun all the way around. Little Bitty smiled. My, what a nice smile you have, Mr. Know-it-Owl told him. I never noticed before. You should smile more often. Little Bitty decided he would do just that. On the way home from school, when Big Red jumped out from behind a tree, Little Bitty didn't whimper. He didn't whine. He just smiled. Why are you smiling at me? Big Red asked. What's going on? Little Bitty just kept smiling. He was so nervous, it was all he could do to keep his paws planted in one place. What's so funny? Big Red asked, taking a step back. Stop looking at me like that. What are you going to do? Bite me? Little Wolf laughed. But what a silly thing to do. Biting's for babies. You can have your dumb old basket back, Big Red said. I didn't want it anyway. She tossed the basket on the ground. Little Bitty smiled even bigger. Mr. Know-It-Owl was right. Doing something Big Red didn't expect had worked. Maybe he'd never smiled at her before. He had a feeling Big Red didn't get many smiles. He'd make sure she got plenty from now on. Little Bitty trotted off with his ears up and his tail high, feeling a little bigger and better than before.